Hey everyone, my name's James and today we're going to talk about relationships in the music industry. Whether you've been in music for 3 months or 30 years, you've probably had the idea that it would be nice to fall in love with somebody who loves music as much as you do. After all, what could be better than finding another person who shares your passion for music in the music industry to live together, work together, and just build an awesome life? However, if you've ever shared that thought with somebody, they've probably told you that it's a terrible idea. After all, music history is littered with failed romances, whether that be artists and other artists, or professionals and artists, or professionals and other professionals. The music industry is a crazy place to try to work, especially if you're trying to work with somebody else that you also have a personal relationship with. However, it's not impossible. I'm not going to go into a long list of all the artists who are together now, or people in the industry that have fallen in love with other people in the industry and things worked out, but there are plenty of examples. I mean, one that comes to mind right away is Jay-Z and Beyonce, and of course there are some tabloid stories and other things that have come out about their relationship that maybe you don't agree with, but ultimately, as a couple, they've made it work, they've stuck it through, they've forged ahead. They've recorded albums together, independently, they tour, they raise a family, they have businesses, they have an empire, and they've done it all while being together as a couple, which is an incredible feat. And there are others in the industry who have pulled this off as well. It's not easy by any means, but it is completely doable. But don't take it from me. We get a lot of questions about relationships in music, so I thought I would turn to somebody who might have an answer. Ellie Holcomb is the wife of Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors, but she's also an artist and an author and a whole bunch of other things in her own right. Ellie and Drew have been together for over a decade, and in that time they've both released albums, they've both toured, they've toured together, and they've started a family. They've even begun writing books. It's a crazy thing that they've managed to pull off. Now, obviously, they're not as big and recognized as Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they are full-time touring musicians who also have a family, and they managed to do all of this while keeping their love intact. So I asked her recently what the secret to making things work in the music industry is, and here's what she had to say.
One of the biggest things for us has been, one, inevitably in any relationship, you're going to have moments where you're like, the 100 miles of your road trip where you're butting heads on something. And especially when you're performing together, a dear friend of ours told us if we got kind of into one of those moments, especially right before you're about to go like perform all these love songs together, to pause it and to just say, hey, like, we're on the same team. Like, I love you and I'm for you and we're on the same team. And then come back to it, after you have to be on stage together. And that has been a super helpful, like, practical tool for us if we're ever like, having conflict right before you're about to go perform, because it just kind of brings you back to the fact that, like, you really are for each other. And then it has been really important for us to play together, like not just music, but like to go like adventure together and have fun together and to do the things that we love together. So we have two things that we do to keep that in the rhythm of our life. One, every year around January, we take what we call a State of the Union trip, where we go and travel somewhere. It can be in Nashville to a hotel here, or it can be really far away as well. But we go and we kind of look at the last year and say what we loved about it, what we want to change about it, and then we kind of dream about the year ahead. And that's been really helpful and fun for us to look forward to, and to know we're going to have a chance to circle back and look at, what we shouldn't do again and what we should do again in terms of the crazy schedule. Because, doing music together, it's a non-traditional rhythm for your family's life. And so we're always kind of saying, okay, what was good? What was horrible? How can we do that better? And then every 5 years we take an adventure together. Like, we do something big. So we've done a hike in the Alps from France to Italy and Switzerland at our 5-year anniversary. And then on our 10-year anniversary, we did Chile, Patagonia, and Argentina, and did some crazy like glacier trekking and kayaking in freezing cold rivers and horseback riding. So we try to keep playing together. And that has been a really, I think that's deposited some good camaraderie and memory into our relationship.
What I love so much about what Ellie says is that it's very practical and it can apply to relationships outside of music as well. You have to make space to be your own person, but you also have to make time for one another and your relationship. You have to recognize that working together isn't necessarily being together. It's just like if you're on your couch at night with your lover right now and you're both on your phones or you're both watching TV, that's not the same thing as actually getting to know one another and spending time together and learning about each other's wants and needs and how those evolve over time. I think that Ellie's advice here can make any relationship last, or at least last a little bit longer. But of course, there are no guarantees in this life, and especially when it comes to romance, so be careful with how you choose to approach this. If there's somebody out there and you two are mutually interested in one another, I say go for it. Keep in mind that you need to create space for both of you to be your own people, for both of you to explore things in the industry, and most importantly, to get the work done that is required. You know how demanding this industry can be, so if you choose to fall in love with somebody else in this industry, understand that they're going to be working as hard, if not harder, than you are right now, all the time. You're going to have to find a way to balance work and life together. It's a challenge, but it's a worthwhile one, at least in my opinion. And if you want to learn even more from Ellie, I spoke to her for my podcast, Inside Music, which we host right here on the channel. So go ahead and click the subscribe button down below, or just head over to our channel page and you can listen to that conversation in full. You can also check out Drew's new album, Dragons, as well as Ellie's music on Spotify or whatever device you choose. I also want to point out that this episode of the show, though short, was brought to you by Holix.com, the industry standard for music promotion. If you head over there today, you can join Drew and Ellie and Chance the Rapper and Blink-182 and thousands of other artists in promoting their music through the most trusted source on the internet. So please head over to Holix.com today and start your free trial. The address is in the description below. And if you do that, or if you don't do that, if you choose to fall in love, or if you choose to remain single, at the very, very least, take care of yourself, because you deserve it.